Watching all the world go by now, underneath the hazy sky now. Got my ticket for the long ride. Yeah, from my park bench perspective, got that wide-eyed view on life. My park bench perspective, helping me to win the fight.
How you doing, Mike Hammer?
Carlos Figueroa, it's good to see you on the Perspective Bench again.
It's Park Bench Perspectives, and it is now May.
Just after May Day, right? Whatever. May-ish.
It's somewhere in May. And what?
May I have summer? What May?
You know? But when we really worried about when summer was coming was when we were in elementary school, because this time of year, you know the number of days left of school is going down very much.
Quick, back a second. May got shortened. It's not a October, November.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's just, what do we call this month? May. Why? Got nothing else. We used them all up on the other months. May. It'll be May and go.
One syllable, that's it. You know what? June, same thing.
Yeah. The June is at least a different name because May
That's
is like,
another-
may I have summer? May I go to the park? But may I not go to school in the summer? There we go.
There was something else that I don't know if it exists today that was huge for us that we would get right before we got let out for summer. And what was that, Mike Hammer?
That was the track meet, the sports event.
Yeah.
And it still goes on. They are much more creative. They're much more. We did the 50-yard dash.
In whatever clothes we were wearing to school.
We
that
did
day.
have the three-legged hop.
I don't remember that. I remember relay races and jumps and
Potato sack jumping race. That was true. Listen to the common man. He brings it up all the time. Potato sack racing where you had to put yourself in the potato sack.
Okay. That never happened in St. Louis Park when we were growing up.
Yes, it did.
No, it did not.
Yes, it did.
Where was I? Was I eating? Maybe I was eating the potatoes and then noticed the sack. Are you seriously? So that was part of that. I remember the track meet because I remember I won a ribbon or two.
Yeah, there was the second, third, and after that, back in the day where you didn't get a participation ribbon, if you were in the top three, you get nothing. Nothing. And too bad there wasn't javelin throwing.
Oh, yeah, that's what we need, javelin throwing. We can't even handle jarts. We're going to give it a longer handle for a longer...
How did that ever become really dangerous without the intent? Lawn jarts. It went through his chest, yeah. Doesn't it go up and come down at like a slow-pitch softball? I threw it at him really hard. Oh, so
have you ever touched your head? You know those little soft parts?
Yeah. And so it wasn't the jarts that were dangerous. You just wanted... to wipe that person out. Huh?
Well, I think the fact that jarts existed is a sign that physics education in the United States has failed us all. Because it was pretty obvious.
Dodgeball was great.
Yes, but nobody dies in dodgeball.
No. But there was some serious parts of your body can get hit and hurt really bad.
Yeah.
Face, other places.
Yeah. That's why you got to always hold the ball and use it defensively.
Yes. Well, that's too what we talked about. The playgrounds were asphalt. Yeah. The jungle gyms were on asphalt.
Yes.
All that was, you fell off, it's just Robitussin and get on with life. And
you know what? Mom will slap some mercurochrome on that bad boy, and we'll just put straight mercury on it. That'll fix it.
We didn't wear helmets with our bikes, and I have nothing against them now.
No helmets, no lights.
I was told not to fall down.
Yeah.
And if I do, tuck and roll. Protect your head.
Yeah, and once again, I am not saying that helmets are stupid. I'm saying we were stupid, okay? So
but we didn't know any different, right?
This is the world that we grew up in, right, wrong, or indifferent. I still think it's funny that my ex-wife number 2, for those keeping score at home, was born actually in California. And after 2 weeks, her parents moved back to Minnesota, and apparently she just lay right on the dash the whole trip. There are no
seatbelts in the back seat. We're like, they're stuck. They're lost back there. Don't hit anything. Sit backwards in the station wagon. Look out where you've been.
But so summertime, obviously, it starts before school's out, but baseball. You get your start of baseball happening right before the end.
The draft. There was the draft, like in Little League. In Cub Ball, you kind of, this is your neighbor, you play on the team, and your dad was coach, and this and that. But then Little League, there's a draft, and I think it was fantasy football for the dads.
I really think it was. I think it was fantasy for the sports for the dads. And then, once again, there was to make it easier on parents. Like if there were siblings, usually the siblings would end up on the same team, and a coach and a son would end up together. And a lot of times people would want to get a coach because it's like, okay, their kid's really good. We get the coach, we get the dad. I'm the only one where, let's get the kid, and then we get the dad as the coach.
Yeah.
I was the opposite.
Your dad was gracious enough to always pick me. He said, basically, he told me, I said, if I don't get him, I'm not coaching. Well, your son is Carlos. I don't care. I get him too, and shut up. Hands off. But, yeah, then we found out what team, the team, and then you got your uniforms.
Yep.
And then opening day ceremonies.
Opening day, all the games. Oh, yeah.
That was.
Do you remember when the Japanese came?
That was something else.
When I was cleaning out my dad's house.
Not like to bomb us, but to play us in baseball.
Yeah, I'm not talking. Wow. There was a slow one on that one, but boy, it was a nuclear bomb, if you will, that you dropped on that. No, the Japanese Little League team came to St. Louis Park to play a couple of teams, and they played our all-star team, I think, our 12-year-old all-star team, and they gave gifts, and they gave my dad a kimono, which I can tell you, having thrown it away into the dumpster when I cleaned out their house, was still in the original packaging. I don't have to have the visual image of a mom and dad getting their freak on in the kimono.
I remember even the best of our players on that team, the Craig Breakers, the really good hitters.
Yeah,
they were like, because they usually walked up and hit anything. I don't care. I'm good. I remember them come back going, because they were throwing the submarine pitch.
Yep.
It started from the ground and went up, and it was like, and the routine was like military.
Yep.
And it was.
Honestly, I've never seen anything as intimidating in my life as them doing infield practice.
Yeah.
They had 4 balls going, and then boom. I will tell you, in that game, this is not a lie, I was 2 for 2.
Oh.
I came very, let's see the tape, close to getting thrown out at first by the right fielder.
Oh.
But if you remember Park National Little Leagues, Major Leagues, like from the fence to first base is not that freaking far.
I coached kids even like in Legion and I guess like Babe Ruth, I had a center fielder that played shallow, and he'd throw them out from center. Yeah. And it was just basically a ground ball up the middle, somebody running slow because they thought they had a hit. But,
exactly. Yep, and it happens all the time.
I guess they had to have a good routine, because if we said, hey, let's go to Japan and play some ball, and they're like, what are you going to do special? Nothing. We're just going to be us. We got our...
That opens up a whole lot of can of worms. I don't think we're going to want to go, so I will just ignore that.
Yeah, did you see? I still have my all-star shirt from Park National Little League.
I have a photo of it, but I threw it in the dumpster.
It doesn't fit anymore.
I had it. I took a photo of it, but ultimately I did not keep it. There's a lot of things I ended up tossing that I wish I had kept. I think I talked about my dad's fungo bat, but
the fungo
once
bat.
Again, it's summertime. School is over. What did we used to do after when the final bell rang?
Oh, you ran out of class and they let you, because now they would probably be like lawsuit. Yeah. And you saved your paper for the last month.
Yes.
All the sheets of paper, the homework, and you threw them in class. You ran down the hall and threw them. It was paper everywhere.
Yep. It was chaos.
And the janitors, nobody cared.
Yep.
It was kind of like better than littering outside. And I remember if you stuck around long enough, and I was right across the school, I'd go back. The big brooms. Remember those brooms?
Oh,
that were like 6 feet long?
Yeah.
And
janitor just doing the whole hallway.
And they were pushing it down, and then at one hallway in Elliott where they kind of went down to the dungeon.
Yep.
They just pushed them all down there, and that was right by where the janitor's office was, and then I think they shoveled them up.
I will tell you this, the reason the teachers didn't care, having ex-wife number 2 was also a teacher, is because they're going to get their drink on as fast as possible once you little bastards are out of the building. Because they need to drink. That actually would be, if I did ever have a child, I would have pre-gifted alcohol to the teacher in advance.
Yeah, when we grew up, parents were not encouraged to go to the school. Just leave your kid at the door and then pick them up afterward and let them get on the bus. Nowadays, the school, we get free work out of the parents.
That stuff all happened after me, where they're like going, "Oh no, this is my schedule."
And it was funny because I worked nights at the bar, and I'd work nights. And so I'd be home during the day at times if I wasn't doing my second job. But I many times went and ate lunch with my kids at the table with other kids. Just come in, sit around, and chit-chat. And it was funny. And I remember one time, this guy named Carlos, and I thought it was another dad at the table. He was a sixth grader. You were bigger than most of our kids. How do I put this? Large.
I was a large human being.
At a young age. And this one, and I looked and I'm like, oh, somebody else's dad. It turned out it was a kid. I'm like, wow, his back was like 3 feet across. But I went to school, and they didn't have a problem with me going there and eating lunch, having fun, and helping out.
My dad tells a great story of the youngest Peterson brother. Was that David?
Yes.
Him at my dad. I'd moved on to Babe Ruth, but my dad continued to work with Park National Little League, and he says that draft, he's Dave Peterson, and said, you're with the 9-year-olds. You're not supposed to be here. And he goes, I am 9. And my dad goes, oh my God.
Yeah.
Because my dad was looking up to him.
They were a tall family.
They came by it honestly.
Mike, who was a year older than us, was the shortest of the bunch,
Yeah.
and he was like 6'6".
6'6", exactly. Yeah.
But David was my brother's age. Yeah, he was. They were. But
So let's go back. So
what did we do? What did we look forward to doing?
Yeah, it would be sleeping in a little bit, but I don't know if that was that huge until I became a teenager. But I think just
Sugar cereals.
Sugar cereals, okay.
Sugar smacks.
Sugar smacks, sugar cone puffs.
Honeycomb hideout.
I remember us. I remember playing baseball behind the water treatment facility there on Cedar Lake Road. I remember going down to the Little League fields during the day and playing pickup games there.
Yeah, we touched it as much. Pitcher's hand was fun. We do it at Elliott, but one thing that happened pretty much a week after is the summer program.
Yeah, the summer. Yep,
we were
the
at
parks.
the school, the parks, and they had a little green box.
Yeah. Yep.
Knox hockey.
Yes.
Foursquare.
And you could take it home with you.
You had to get on the list and take it home.
You could take it home with you. And Knox hockey at home. It was the greatest thing ever.
And for me, considering I was right across the street, that was a short walk. And
I'm trying to remember how old we were. Now, I'm going to tell. I remember being at that St. Louis Park thing right there at Elliott across the street. And you were there and I was there. And I'm not going to say the guy's name, but just so you know who it is. It's the guy who talked you into breaking all the windows at the school.
Oh, yeah.
He was talking about French kissing and describing what it was. And I don't know. I must have been 10 or 11, but I just sat there in awe of the entire concept and did not really believe that people would do such a thing.
Interesting. Yeah. That girl's...
How old were you when you first kissed a girl?
3rd grade.
Really?
Yeah.
Like kiss?
Kiss, I don't know. You just kind of close your eyes, lean in.
So you consider that your first kiss?
The first kiss that wasn't going anywhere else with that kiss.
Yeah.
The intentions of that kiss wasn't to go anywhere else with it.
My first kiss was when I was 13, and I may have had the desire, but there was no planning. There was no, okay, now this base, let's go to the next base. There was not that level of strategery brought to the action by young Carlos at 13, who had his first kiss to How Deep Is Your Love by the Bee Gees. Shout out to Karen.
Good song. Oh, I get it. Go back to the windows. That wasn't a thing I looked forward to doing in the summer, but I was
You were talking into it?
told that those glass block windows that were at the lower level around the side, that they were replacing them. And they needed them to be broken anyhow, so...
Then you were helping.
And I was helping, and we were throwing rocks, and we were breaking them pretty good. Then I remember being in my yard where we golfed from my front yard. Todd always brings this up. Trying to hit the regular windows at the school, golfing from my front. Oh, we missed. Missed another one.
Oh, I have visions of Animal House. Hooked it. Shit.
Hooked it. Oh, funny. Yeah.
But actually, we're going to earn... I click the explicit label for every podcast just because I don't want to have to worry about if I swore and I'm not going to edit it. But this is the first one I think that deserves the explicit label.
Now, that was another thing growing up, too. When you could say those words and get away with them. But, okay, so the school activity thing going across the street.
That was big.
The big green box, and if you wanted to not play a kickball or whatever, you could. They had some arts and crafts, and they always had a guy and a girl from the high school.
Yes.
And when she was cute,
Yes.
you went every day.
Yes.
And if the guy was really cool, It was a
Yeah,
toss-up.
yeah.
God, she's cute, but he's cool.
I used to love playing that. Was it called Foursquare?
Foursquare.
I used to love Foursquare, kickball.
8
Oh,
square, 16
when,
square.
when we do capture the flag,
Capture the flag.
That,
We do the-
that in that little that section, if you think back, that was the very
Enclave.
front facing Cedar Lake Road of Elliott, that little enclave. Which I look at pictures now and go, there's no room there. But to me, it was our capture the flag space.
And there was a sun, and on each side there was bushes. And
Yes.
you could hide the flag
Yep.
in the bushes. So
Yep.
it wasn't easy just to grab it. You had to figure out which bush it was
Yep.
in, and then
Yep.
grab it. And yeah, that was.
And we knew everybody. My cousins, the Garcias, were there. The Cheetahs were there. God, what was the name of the kid? Bobby, who broke his leg on the
Jefferson?
drive. Bobby Decker. Bobby Decker lived right there.
Bobby Decker, the Gilas, the Stone Kings.
Yep. Steve, someone we brought up before, Steve Foken.
The
God rest his soul.
Davinskis.
The Rasmussens.
Reese, the Rasmussen.
What was the name of the
Butts.
newspaper people? The
Knowles.
The Knowles. The Butts.
The Butts, there was a lot of them. The Carpenters,
Cecil Johnson was our neighbor, a teacher at St. Louis Park High School.
Rakovich is at the end of the block.
Yes, and then I remember my dad always thought little Peter Rakovich was going to turn out to be the biggest juvenile delinquent the world ever seen.
But he was a great athlete, though. He was very athletic.
And I only say this because he did silly 4-year-old child thing. My dad did not think the kid was a criminal. I'm totally joking. I'm glad he turned out to be a great athlete. And sorry I said that. I shouldn't have.
No, but it was. He was a bit mischief.
He was mischievous, like in a Dennis the Menace sort of way, not in a cruel way.
Not in a Ted Bundy way, no. I remember, though, that's the first time I really heard the term lawyer, because they had the tree in the front yard that was a great climbing tree.
Yes.
And the dad wouldn't want us to go up there because of a lawsuit.
Yep.
What's a lawsuit? And then they put an ice rink in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed big,
Yeah.
but St. Louis Park backyards weren't that big, but
Yeah.
he had wood around it and a light up there. But we all had to have our parents sign waivers.
Waivers for it,
And
wow.
I was like, huh. And right next door
Yeah.
at the Wold's house was the best house for kick the can.
Yeah.
And their neighbors were older, and they didn't like us running through the yards. But
My first lawyer story, I'm going to tell you real quick, because my dad, so I went to sign up for Cub Scouts. I don't know what, we were maybe 10, 11 years old when we signed up for Cub Scouts.
Earlier than that, because by
7,
that time
8.
we were Boy Scout. But go ahead.
So 7,
9.
8, whatever. So I go to Elliott, the library. They're going to talk about Cub Scouts, and they talk my dad into being the scoutmaster, run the thing. And so one of the things that you did if you were a Cub Scout back in the day is you would do a paper route, or not a paper route, a paper recycling.
Drive.
Paper drive. You would go collect all the paper, and
They'd
then
have a semi. They drop it off to the school.
Yeah, and then you would collect all this paper from people long before recycling bins, and somehow Cub Scouts would make money from this. There's this kid named Bobby who broke his leg falling off the truck, right? And my dad, they come talk to the powers that be, come talk to my dad and go, we have insurance for this, but no, as the scoutmaster, you can be sued. And my dad, somehow that never got mentioned in the pep talk. So my dad goes to the family saying, I'm really sorry this happened. I've heard you can sue me. I don't know what to do. And they're like, well, we're not going to sue you. Our kid's a klutz. He breaks stuff all the time. Don't worry about that.
Girl Scouts got to sell cookies, and we went pandering for paper.
Pandering for paper. We had to sell. No, that was
Paper
basketball.
drive.
We had peanuts. Remember,
We had to go pander.
Yeah,
We have all
yeah,
your paper.
yeah.
Give us almost like
Yeah, they
give us
get-
all your paper.
So you're saying that they set the girls out for victory?
They get to sell cookies. Who doesn't like? I think I'll have a cookie. When's the last time?
Yeah, but who doesn't want to get rid of paper?
I think I'm going to go collect their paper. I think I'll have a cookie. There's a little bit of a different tone there, but
And here's the thing people don't realize. You kids today, anybody our age does realize this. Do you know what generated a shit ton of paper? Those damn phone books they bring you every year. That's a lot of paper. A lot.
Later on, here's the irony. Later on, up in the high school and stuff, we deliver phone books
Yeah.
to raise money.
Yes.
So we're like, okay, when you get a little older, you're going to create the opportunity for the younger kids to collect those phone books
And then-
make money on the backside.
Yeah.
You're like, this is genius.
Somebody is thinking this through. Somebody's getting rich and it ain't me.
Yeah. The phone books were, looking at that, like Stanley Jaw.
And I honestly, and here's where my memory sucks, right? So I have no recollection. Was Cub Scouts year round?
I think they took the summers off because they're doing summer stuff. They coincided
So
with
summer.
join Cub Scouts. You had the meetings at school at the beginning.
We've talked about it before, but one of the big things that I remember of my childhood is playing pickup football with you and Kenny and Doug and my cousin Nelson. So I remember that, and then going there. I have a memory that there was a park at the end of my street, 18th Street, that kind of...
Yeah, we talked about...
Hampshire goes down and then winds around as 18th Street, and it kind of does a U to Cedar Lake Road. It close to where Elliot would come down Hampshire, where Mike was raised, and then the U would take you out near the railroad tracks.
Yep, up by Dakota.
And there's a park in there, but past that, there's marshland, and I felt like there was like an abandoned house and stuff that we just did a lot of... To me, right now, I'm like, there's not that much land there, but I also felt like we did lots of exploring back in then.
Lots of exploring. Funny part about the phone book, though, real quick, Joe.
Yeah.
Stanley Garfinkel used to always say, you know why there's so many Andersons in the phone book?
Because Anders
No, we're supposed to say why.
Why?
Because they all have phones.
Boom.
But that going down there and behind the Lincoln dealership,
Yes.
there was just marshland and there was stuff to do. And
Now, Mike Hammer, let me ask you this question. See if you know the answer. Hampshire Avenue used to be able to go all the way to the service road of 394.
And
what happened?
there was a stoplight that got across Highway 12
Yes.
too, right there.
Yeah.
So
Some citizens,
Disco Dave Hammer.
led by mayoral candidate Dave Hammer.
Yeah, Dave Hammer that wanted to. Two things he did. One was he got the stoplights, the school lights put in at Cedar Lake Road
Yes.
where they crossed there because
Yep.
he didn't want to have to carry the blood-soaking body of a
Oh,
child.
he used that argument.
It
Smart.
was pretty good. I remember seeing
for-
it and hearing that, and someone else brought up. So those school lights, so just the red and yellow,
Yeah.
stopped. And then, because there were some bars down at the end of, across that side of Highway 12 and on the other side,
Yeah.
and people would shoot
Yeah.
straight up Hampshire.
Yep.
going
They
pretty
would
darn
use it
fast.
to cut through.
And it was a thoroughfare.
Yeah.
And once
And
again...
he had kids, and he didn't want any kids to get hit by cars.
And I didn't pay attention, but I guess enough cars went by fast because as you get older, you notice a car speeding down
do,
the street.
you do.
And you're like the old man, you're running on your lawn. Or as Kenny's dad used to do. This was classic. Kenny Benning lived right across the street from you and Ronnie. And he was the fair, but he was Grizzly Adams. He was
Yes.
fair, but he was like,
Intimidating.
if you do something wrong, there's a consequence. And he would make some snowballs and put them on the step there. And if you came racing by, and I remember happening a couple times, threw a snowball at the car and the car stopped. And he was big at that time. He was
Yeah,
26 feet,
yeah.
220, 240,
Burly beard.
a big beard. And they would stop and they'd get out and he'd go down the stairs or down this hill and they'd go, oh, and they'd jump back in their car.
And run.
We're gone.
We're gone. Oh, my goodness. We could probably do an entire episode on Ron. Interesting cat. Interesting cat.
He had a lot of quick sayings. Junior?
Oh.
What are you doing, Junior?
So I recall you and I have talked about we would play a little bit of Frogger to get across Highway 12 to get over to the Burger King.
Yeah.
There used to be an Arthur Treacher's over there, but I don't think that was a big deal for us. I think Burger King was the go-to place.
Anytime and I do fish,
Yeah?
but people that don't like fish say it smells fishy.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to Burger King and says it smells hamburgery
Yeah.
here?
Smells like meat.
Sticky. So I think we were kind of like going to someplace to buy fish was like not worth it, and you could smell. There's a definite smell there. So the French fries were golden.
Yep. Lupient, right across the street on Saturdays, on occasion, would have hot dogs and would always have popcorn.
Go there, pretend we're gonna look.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, shout out here to one of our classmates, Mark Globus, because I remember the weirdest shit. I apologize, people, but I remember weird shit. When we were in second or first grade, Mark Globus, to me, was a TV star. Because he was on a commercial, and it was like,
right.
my grandma and grandpa bought a car at Anderson Cadillac, and yada, 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 and there's little 5 or 6 year old Mark. And so I remember that. Famous TV, almost mayor.
I remember in 5th grade, and he just got contacts.
Yeah.
And I was in the bathroom when he was in there trying to put him on
him
like
in?
the first day.
Oh.
And I'm looking at him, and I'm going, And I'm like as much pain watching
Yeah.
him going, you're going to stick that in your eyes? Yeah. They told me this is what I'm supposed to do. They showed me at the place. I'm like going, good luck with that.
It's hard as hell, man. Contacts, when you put in brand new contacts for the first several hours, it's amazing. But after that, it just sucks.
Yeah, I did it only during the Halloween stores, and then they were bad So who knows what happened to the quality of
So
my...
we've established, Mike, that you are the more adventurous of us. So what other things would you do in summer when you weren't with Weenie Carlos and you would? I know that you used to ride the rails. And you used to climb the water
Try to get you out
towers.
of the house, stick our hand in the house because you're the first one with central air, and I was like, wow, it's cold in there. But the rec center,
Yes.
the rec center, that pool, they had a diving pool, that was just when you could go from the regular, and it was a large pool. To me, it seemed like it was the size of a football field, but it was a big pool. And then the diving pool, when you could have the guts to go up on the high dive and jump off, and you couldn't stand there and think about it.
No, because you had people waiting.
There was 15 people behind you, and most of them were bigger than you. And then when you had the guts to dive off it, and I always had that fear, the edge of the pool, the far edge, I'm like, I'm gonna hit that. And then you watch other people, you're not even close. But remember the one thing that was always a pain every hour. They had to search for drowned people.
Yes.
Everybody out of the pool is searching. You're like, how about do it once every few hours? And then in the meantime, say, everybody have the buddy system.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on.
Exactly.
If you can't find, if your buddy's at the bottom of the pool for over a minute, raise your hand to cause a commotion.
I would imagine, and here's one of these, a thought that didn't occur to me because I don't have kids. But I have to imagine a huge part of water parks is making sure that somebody doesn't run off with somebody's child.
We never thought of it then because there was a possibility. And two, what was the other thing that you couldn't do at the pool?
Pee?
Half the pool, people in the pool peed. But what did you get yelled at by the lifeguards a lot? No blanking.
Splashing.
No, you could splash. But when you weren't in the pool, you were on the deck.
No diving.
No running.
No running. Oh.
No running. And you see it anytime if you watch Sandlot or whatever.
Yeah.
No
running.
running. No, the whistle would go, no. And I'm like,
Even Windy Peppercorn?
Windy Peppercorn, yeah. Must have been a certain period of time where everybody's got to the pool and ran around it.
Yeah.
And it was chaos, and everybody's slipping and falling. And I get it. Well, you can slip and fall. I can slip and fall running in the grass or running in the pavement.
I don't recall ever seeking employment in these things, but I have to believe being like a lifeguard at the rec center was a higher quality status job than being the summer program director for the rec center. Or do you think they're equivalent?
I think
You get to be in a swimsuit at a pool all day.
you get to be in the cold days.
Yeah, it's
Kind of
not
sucks.
so
And
fun.
on really hot days, you watch Stranger Things just came out, and
Yeah. Billy.
Billy had some advantages, and I don't know how many. I don't remember seeing a lot of moms like that at the pool, and we kind of.
But
grew
you
up at the
weren't
same time.
looking. See, here's my dad. Anybody that knew my dad, let's just say he had an appreciation for the female form. So when I was like 7 or 8 playing the sports early, and Johnny or Susie was like, oh, my dad go, oh, the one with the sexy mom. I'm like, Dad, no, these are moms. Moms aren't sexy. Shut up.
Aren't sexy. Yeah, I think never was a lifeguard, but I think it could get kind of boring because all you got to do is blow. You got to be the killjoy.
Yeah.
Blow your whistle. Stop it. Don't do that. You can't do that. Stop running. Go over here. Stop.
Well, and the thing is, it's like one of the things I like about
Don't
my
drown.
job. If I have a bad day, nobody dies. You have a bad day, someone's dead.
We lost another. This too. I get it. Sometimes you got to an age where your parents could just drop you off.
Yeah.
But part of it is, hey, parent your kids. Keep an eye on them. Back to keeping them alive, even at the pool.
See, back then, though, they didn't think like that. It was it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?
Another fun thing in the summer was getting to go to the beach, like Harriet Beach.
Yes.
Medicine Lake.
Yes.
Medicine Lake was a cool one because you didn't want the beaches that were... Harriet was cold. It was spring-fed. So it was a chillier lake. Yeah. Calhoun was, halfway through summer, it was green. You didn't want to go there. But Medicine Lake wasn't. And
Medicine Lake was one of the lakes we would go to for the beach. I remember.
And it was a gradual.
Yep.
And it was sandy. That was And then the falls, the Minnehaha Falls, going there.
Yep. That was almost like a regular field trip thing,
with
you know.
the parents.
Yeah.
The parents would go, and the mom would sit there, and they'd bring, back when you had a picnic. And
We'd usually spend some time up at a friend's or my dad's friend's cabin. So we'd spend some cabin time. If you're in Minnesota, you spend some time at a cabin.
We went to a certain cabin resort, the same one every year, and that was fun, except my dad loved to fish, and he wasn't a very fun fisherman, but he was really good at it, and I just tried to...
No, not surprising. Once again, people that are listening will see the big differences in personality between the two of us. I never went to a summer camp. Did you go to summer camps, and who sponsored them?
Went to Boy Scout camp a couple times.
Okay. See, I never participated in Boy Scouts because I knew that it involved camping.
Me and Kenny went 1 or 2 years.
Yeah. Were you a Webelow? I wasn't even a Webelow. I quit before Webelows.
I don't know what level it was, but I remember we were like 6th grade. Went to a camp, and it was a day camp, so we got on the bus.
Yeah.
And the memory I have of that camp was we'd lock people in the porta potties with sticks, so because there was a latch on, and that was the highlight. That's what I remember.
About your summer camp experience.
You had to have a buddy who would guard it when you were there, or you were getting locked in.
Once again, thank you for validating the decision I made at 12 not to pursue a Boy Scout camp, because that doesn't sound very fun. But to me, it was the movie Little Darling. You meet the girl or the boy of your dreams at summer camp.
Yeah, no, this was too young. I remember we got in canoes, and I don't know if we had to wear, probably had to wear life jackets. Back then, it was...
No, did the Hammers ever do the traditional summer road trip? We went out to Arizona and California a couple times.
We just go up to Glenwood on Lake Minnewaska and go to the cabin there.
Okay.
Sometimes it was twice if things were good at the old Northwestern Bell, and Dad wanted to fish more than 1 week. But then when they got divorced, that ended, and then it was... Then by the time you get to 12, 13, 4 days, baseball got serious, and if you were good enough, you played on the All-Star team, and that went through August, and then you keep going through, and then football would start, and then it was basketball camp.
And then we start getting to the age of somewhere 13, 14, 15, where you do not want your parents to be part of any of your social life. Any free time where you're not in school or sports, you want to pursue other things and not hang out with them.
And not go with your family and your siblings. Even though I have a lot of memories with my brother and my sister. My sister more because she was 2 years older than me, but I remember a lot of times when you're on vacation, that was your confidant. That was your whatever. When Marty came on, so Marty was 5.5 years younger than me and 7.5 years younger than... So to us, to me and Michelle, Marty was more of a toy. Yeah. She and her friends would dress him up and stuff. We, for Christmas... My mom would buy him Christmas presents and wrap them, and me and my sister, like when she was working nights or whatever, and we were watching them, we'd shut the door, we'd open the presents, play with his toys, then put them back in the box, rewrap them. And
oh, God.
That was fun.
Well, not having had siblings, I don't have a voice in those things, other than I do recall my dad and my aunt talking, and they were both in their 70s at the time, about something that happened when my dad was a child, and I could tell my dad is still really pissed off about it.
My sister was always cool. She's a big sister, but we always got along. She was cool. And I remember...
Well, your sister kept the house filled with cute friends, so thank you, Michelle.
There's that, but when she got her license and drove, she wasn't a big fan. Not that she hated driving. She doesn't like... I'm 14, and she's letting me drive to school because I had to drive both of us, 14, 15. Yeah. And she, you can drive. I'm like, I'll drive. And there pick up Jason Clues on the way, and I'm like...
There was a time you would just go for drives. But no, we're just driving around. Smoking cigarettes or whatever, and drinking beer, or just, what do you want to do? I don't know. I want to go around the lakes? Sure.
Going down to the lakes with the cooler, or if you got like a 6-pack of beer, Schlitz malt liquor, and you took the first one out...
Was it at Lake Harriet, or was it pre-gaming Neil Young? But I remember Brian making a steak, and he was so excited he was making a steak, and then realized he didn't have any utensils to eat the steak with.
I believe that was at the Met Stadium pre-gaming Neil Young.
Nobody was more proud of their than he was, and then the realization hit that he did not have a knife before.
8 hours before the show.
Oh yeah,
but I remember
that'll make our concert injuries one if you ever agree to do it.
That was it.
I lit myself on fire at that show.
Yeah, you did.
And it took a long time for me to react to the fact that I was on fire.
It took us a while to realize
That
maybe we should not watch him do that. And we were going, oh, dumb it. We were like, Carlos is on fire.
Yeah.
And
I remember
altered state of mind going.
So you remember how big my hair was?
Yeah, he had big hair.
I cannot remember whose apartment was, but it was one of those people that, as a senior or whatever, got an apartment, which was not an uncommon thing for an 18 to get an apartment. And it was right there as those ones right at the very end of Hampshire Avenue by the railroad tracks, right?
Oh, yeah.
One of those ones. And so we're sitting there, and why I think someone just moved in, because there wasn't any furniture. There was about 15 of us, and we were sitting around in a circle, kind of passing a bowl around, as you did. And we only had matches for some reason. And it was one of those little stone pipes.
Yeah.
And I spilled the contents and leaned over. And then at the same time, the person next to me just was holding the lit match, thinking that I was going to. And the match goes into my hair, and my hair starts to go up like this. And a room full of 15 people, 14 of them are pointing at me with their mouth open, but no one's saying anything. And then it seemed like a long time, and then people start hitting my head.
Was that your Michael Jackson moment?
That was my Michael Jackson moment, but I wasn't getting paid millions of dollars to make a commercial at the time. By the way, kids, don't do drugs.
Don't do all of them.
Save some for us.
Save some for us, for others.
All right, Mike Hammer, we tried to talk St. Louis Park summertime as best we could, but a lot of time we talk about stuff that's interesting to us. Anything that...
Hope they enjoyed the ride. Anything else? I don't know. We'll do this again. And
Hey, listen. No one's paying us to listen to this, so it's fun for us. We would love you to give us some comment and feedback. We really are looking for folks to put on the air. Everybody I talk to about coming on the air is a little nervous. Trust me, every single person that has done a podcast with me and with us says, wow, that went fast. And wow, that sounded so much better than I thought it was going to. So don't be shy. I promise people full editorial control. If after they listen to what was recorded, they do not like it, we won't show it. So hit that fan mail button, send us a voicemail, shoot us a message, let us know that you would like to be on the show and talk about your neighborhood. And
in your neighborhood, it's the people that you meet when you're walking down the street. Never mind. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, no, Mike, I feel like you really laid down the way that I have been thinking about this podcast is that we grew up for us at the young age, the world was small. The world was...
We had a bubble.
It was a very small bubble, and then as our biking and cars, our bubble got bigger, but the center of our bubble was always St. Louis Park, Minnesota. And
best place to grow up.
It holds such a special place in my heart. I really think it is a special place.
We had fun.
And so we do want to talk about St. Louis Park. We do want to talk about other areas of St. Louis Park. I do want to hear trivia, things that I don't know, things that happen.
We were the North Siders. There were certain places on the South Siders that...
Let me give you an example, just because it's strange to me. Apparently, in the 60s and 70s, it was commonplace to train boys to swim nude.
At Westwood.
It was Westwood, but this was common nationwide, because I remember an episode of 8 is Enough where young Nicholas was being trained to swim by his father, and he's, wait a minute, everybody's naked, what the hell is going on here? So
class.
Anybody that happened before us.
Yeah, we got told by the gym teachers, you're lucky now you wear swimsuits.
But if you experience that, once again, I am not suggesting there was anything nefarious about it. It just was a different way of doing things. But it is alien to my experience, so I want to hear about that. I want to hear. To me, I grew up with Highway 18 and Highway 12, and they will always be Highway 18 and Highway 12 in my life.
All you boys, take your clothes off and jump in the pool. This is bare-ass pool. What? Now you'll be like, I don't think so. I'm not going. But
I think we have our title for our episode. I think this episode will be called Bare Ass Pool.
You know what's funny, too? A lot of kids... There's no pools in junior highs, high schools, a lot of places. They don't make them anymore. Yeah. That's a big expense.
It is a massive expense.
We have diving boards, and they just say, go ahead and have fun. Yeah. Don't hurt yourself. Fun. All right.
I think it's time.
It's time.
I've had a lot of fun on the bench, sharing my perspective with you here on Park Bench Perspectives, Mike Hammer.
It's always a good bench. It's a good bench season. And yeah. Till next time.
All right, Carlos and Hammer.
Out.
Watching all the world go by now, underneath the hazy sky now. Got my ticket for the